So I know even a child now knows what is the definition of AI. Okay. So AI used to be artificial intelligence. It still is, by the way. Okay. I'm just playing some wordplay here. AI used to be artificial intelligence, still is artificial intelligence. But the way agentic AI is evolving, it is definitely changing the very definition of AI from artificial intelligence to automatic intelligence. We want to make sure that people get this that they need automatically. They shouldn't be required to go to a system, go to a platform, find the information and interpret it for themselves. That's what value add AI is doing. Or agentic AI is doing, is that helping people become significantly more intelligent, significantly more aware about business decisions, about data that goes behind the business decisions, about the impact that is caused by the business decisions. Okay, that is what that agentic AI is doing. How does it do that? Okay, let me explain that with one very simple example. And it can be explained using AI agents or different types of AI agents. Okay, so most of us have done our home renovations. Okay, so I'll use that example to bring home the point that the most basic form of an agent is a single agent, where you give a specific problem to the agent and the agent can respond. Okay, so if I talk about home improvement, to a single agent, you would give a problem statement. Can you recommend a good speaker system for my media room in the budget of $10,000? Okay, and I like the bass, I don't like too high frequencies, and some of the common things you can share of your preferences. Now this agent is going to scan through several 100,000 websites, find out the reviews of different type of speakers availability in the system, their budget, their performance, and can make a recommendation that for a $1,000 in 5.1 space, this is the speaker system I can recommend. May I also suggest this Atmos speakers that you can do, which you can get for extra $200. So that's what a single agent will do. You give it a small problem, it will solve that problem for you. Okay, and give you that solution. So what does a multi-agent do? So then from single agent, you start connecting different agents so they can work together and give you a comprehensive. So now a multi-agent, you give a problem not for selection of speaker. Instead, you give it a problem that I want to redesign my media room. Okay, now redesigning of media room has several other components. Speaker selection is just one part of it. You need to find for soundproofing solutions, you need to find projector screens, you need to find projector, you need to find couches, you need to find receivers and whatnot. So there are different agents that get triggered, which does the same problem solving. However, for different components. And more importantly, they actually talk to each other. Because you gave a problem that I want to redesign my media room for $1,000. Now different agents are talking to each other. How much are you getting the quote for? So if somebody says I'm going to spend $2,000 on speakers, so the projector screen one will reduce its estimates and says, okay, I'm going to reduce from 800 to 600. And they are talking to each other without you knowing, and they comprehensively work together and give you a best solution possible for $1,000. That is what a multi-agent solution would do. Now, the third one, which is very common right now in the industry, okay, which is called a mixture of expert, where different domain experts, agents that are different domain experts, they work together to solve a problem. So the analogy that we were working on, how would it interpret that? Is that now I'm not talking about media room. Instead, I'm talking about home renovation. And I give a budget of home renovation of $25,000 to my problems as my problem statement, mentioning that I want to start a complete new media room. I want to redo my kitchen cabinets. I want to put wooden tiles, wooden flooring instead of carpet in this room and so on. So I give my requirements. Now mixture of experts triggers different multi-agent systems. One agent goes for kitchen optimization, one agent goes for bathroom optimization, one goes for bedroom optimization, one goes for media room installation, another one goes for some other criteria and so on. A game room and whatnot. They all work together and optimize the total cost of your ownership. That for a $25,000 renovation, what can I do? So now probably media room system will not take $10,000. It will probably reduce because the demand on the flooring agent will be significantly high. So it would say the least I can do flooring agent is $10,000. So now only 15,000 is available. Therefore, other agents will accommodate their requirements or adjust their requirements so that they can give you a solution for 25. That is what mixture of expert does. If I have to specify the maturity of the industry today, I think in majority of the cases, this is where the industry is. Most of the customers are using, at least Polestar customers are using mixture of experts to solve business problems related to inventory analytics, related to production planning, related to scheduling, related to sales optimization, related to product assortment planning, and so on. And this is the demo that we would wanted to show to you, okay, which if time permits, we can show today, else we will show it in the part 2, which is happening this Thursday. So then what is remaining? Is this true agentic AI? So fortunately, no. True agentic AI is significantly more interesting. A true agentic AI is an agent swarm where you don't configure any of the agents. The agents configure each other. So that's what agent swarm is, that you give a business problem to one agent that I want to renovate my house for $25,000. Now, agent automatically decides that probably I will need a home improvement consultant this time. I would need an architect. I would need a speaker advisor, and starts creating new agent to find that information in the most optimum fashion and give it to you. And when all the agent have done their work, then the aggregator agent, the agent one aggregates everybody and gives you a single solution. So in this case, there are fewer agents that are pre-configured, but agents are being created on the fly to help solve a business problem. That is what an agent swarm does. So as you see, there are different stages of agentic AI that customers can be. Single agents were very common previously, like 5 years, 10 years back as well. Okay. All the forecasting algorithm that you have seen, sales optimization, assortment planning, individual standalone solutions, those were all single agents. Okay. Revenue growth management planning, that is multi-agent. Marketing mix modeling planning, that is multi-agent solution. Okay, a mixture of expert is a relatively newer concept for the last couple of years, but many of the customers have successfully implemented it. And agent swarm is something that is in a very nascent stage today. And we are hoping a lot of customers are interested in getting that activity started. Okay, so moving on, right? So sounds amazing that everybody would want to jump on this AI bandwagon and start creating projects about writing great agents, mixture of agents and whatnot. However, a big challenge that many of the customers are facing is that these agentic AI solutions are not evolving from POC stage to actually production stage. And there are some challenges because in many cases, the agentic AI solution is being implemented because as an end goal that they are being done because you want to do agentic AI. They are not being done because there is a business problem to solve, or they are not being done with appropriate data. There are so many challenges that keep coming. Therefore, a fraction of POCs related to agentic AI actually go into production. And hence, at Polestar, we have come up with a whole framework about how to write your own AI story, which I wanted to share with you today. Like there are certain steps that are basic steps that are involved before we can do an agentic AI implementation. We have a 5-step process towards that. The first step, the very, very first step for any type of agentic AI solution or any AI solution for that matter is identification of business use case. If there is no business use case, I do not think any organizations should start on that journey. Okay. Unless there is a huge technology infrastructure project that you want to upgrade, even that should have a business value associated with it. A business value should take business people into account, should take business stakeholders, should take finance into consultation, and then create what am I expecting this AI solution to deliver. Once I understand, what business value am I planning to deliver, okay, the second part starts that what would it take? One of the essential things that you need to assess or understand is what are going to be the data points that will help me deliver this solution. Now, data point, you don't have to get restricted with internal data. So AI, fortunately, works much better with more data. If you have internal data, amazing. 5-year data, great. If you have external data, even better. Because then feature engineering can help AI systems understand and operate even better and find different correlations that you would not have known or you would not even assume. Therefore, after the business value is determined, then you start thinking about what data points are available, internal or external, and then creating a data platform where all of that data can come. So preparing all of that data at a central place, creating a centralized data platform where all of that data is stored is the second step of writing a good AI story. Once I have crossed that stage where my data is available, now I move into the technical design part of it. This is also a place where many customers get it, the sequencing incorrect, where they start with the technical design and then go into the data profiling. Okay, I think once we have visibility to the right data and the right data quality, assessment of the data quality, then we can determine what technical solution to use. Do I need 4.0, 4.0 mini? Do I need Anthropic? What solution do I need? So that type of models, or do I need simple statistical algorithms? I may not need a GPT at all. Okay, so GPT is not the solution for every of each of your problem. There are simple data science algorithms that we can use, machine learning algorithms that we can use, simple Python services that we can use that can potentially solve the problem without investing into expensive GPTs. Okay, so technical design is the third aspect. And then the fourth aspect becomes, once the design has been done, the development has been done, then we do the deployment in a very, very small business segment first. Because implementation of any AI services is an iterative process. It is not a one and done. Once you deploy in a smaller section, you will learn a lot. And based on that learning, you will have a time to go back, adjust your business value. You may have to adjust your data points. You may have adjust to technical design even, and expand that solution then so that it can start catering to different business stakeholders. And those are the things that will help you write a great AI story. But you may pause me here and said, Sid, you said about 5 steps and you are seeing only 4. So that would be absolutely true, because the fifth step is the most important one, because it is going to be the eraser for all the other 4 steps so that you can make corrections. And that is governance. So no matter what I develop, what I deploy, unless and until I monitor, I measure, I correct the mistakes, it is not guaranteed to be successful. Governance is what makes sure that the models are frequently reviewed for any drift, for any non-compliance, for requiring of new model training, for even reassessment of models. That is what governance will help us do. Collectively, these 5 process steps help us implement an amazing AI product, amazing AI services for your business, as well as an extension, helps in any agentic AI implementations as well. Okay. Now let's see one example about how this whole concept that I just shared with you alive. Let's bring this thing to life. Okay, about what would it look like in a real life scenario. I have 2 examples here, one from pharmaceutical industry, another from CPG. Due to shortage of time today, because we are already 20 minutes in, maybe I'll just pick the CPG industry example today and walk you through. And in the next part 2, we can see if we have time for a pharma industry use case. Okay, so let's look at the CPG industry example. You are very familiar with CPG industry. All of you will be, because we buy our groceries all the time. We go to those big brand retail stores, uh, Walmarts, Kroger's, HEBs of the world. So we know how the shelves are laid out with colorful assortment of products. But do you know that behind those assortment of products, there is a lot of data science and math that goes into creating the shelf experience, into creating the sequence of the products in which it needs to be placed, in the order in which shelf decorations are done. All of that is mathematically oriented. Therefore, data plays a big role in that. And I wanted to take that example. Now, in a retail store, a typical retail store, there will be several thousand brands that are selling their products. Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Kellogg's. There are so many different brands. Chobani, Oatly, all of these brands are selling their products in those retail stores consistently. And for most of those brands, they have their own sales rep who goes into these retail stores and negotiate deals with these retail store managers, right? They frequently negotiate these deals about the placement of their brands. They negotiate the deals about the promotions they will be running. Okay, they talk or negotiate about amount of product that needs to be sold, about targets that needs to be given. All of that conversation happens between a store manager as well as a brand sales rep. Now imagine a store manager is talking to 20 other brand managers as well, brand reps as well. Therefore, whatever you are discussing with the retail manager, and by you, I mean the brand sales rep, because this whole story I will share from the brand sales rep specific perspective. You are telling something to the brand retail store manager, 20 other sales rep are also telling the same story. So the person who is much more convincing, who is doing a lot more data centric talking, has a higher chances of being successful in steering the conversation in his or her favor. Okay, therefore, there's a lot of opportunity for great data. That's where agentic AI comes into picture to help enable the brand sales rep to have a more informed conversation with the store manager. Okay, as I was mentioning, the brand sales reps need to process a lot of information. They need to understand to be able to have a good conversation. Are my promos working? So you offered $1 discount on a particular product. Did it work? Did it increase the sale by 30% that as we expected? Did my stock move? Okay, or did we just ended up selling the same amount of units like last time, but at a lower cost? They also need to understand how is my shelf looking on the brand? How my brand looking on the shelf? Do you think we have enough amount of visual presence? Do you think that the brand is placed at a place where my target customer can see it? Am I at the too back of the shelf? Am I at the too front of the shelf? Am I at the right height, eye level of the shelf? All of these things, information they have to process. Most importantly, they have to understand what is competition selling. Do they have more assortment than us? Do they have less assortment than us? Is their packaging better than mine? Is their promotion better than mine? All of this information they have to process because the store manager is going to throw it back at them that, oh, you are giving only $2 discount. I'm getting $3 discount from brand X. How do you respond to that? Okay, so that type of information needs to be available at the fingertip of the brand sales rep so they can have an informed conversation because the time to make decision is very, very, very small. It's a 20-minute meeting or 30-minute conversation. They have to understand the viewpoint of store manager and respond in as good a time. How does it possible for the sales rep then to be able to respond to all of these in such a short time? That's where agentic AI comes into picture. Because through the usage of agentic AI, Polestar enables the brand sales rep with all the required information. Now, if I create one massive system to be able to process all of that information and be a magic pill, I think it will get really confusing for the models as well as for the brand sales rep to understand the recommendation. Agentic AI gives us a framework in which we can think about different work streams, create an agent for optimal optimization of each of these work streams, and consolidate the response for the brand sales rep. Okay, so let's look at the framework, right? So we use the same 5-step process to create. We identified the business process that, okay, business value, that through the implementation of agentic AI, we will increase the brand revenue by 4% and we will increase the market share by 5%. And then we figured out what data we will use, what the technical design we will do, what is the deployment priority and the governance model. And we came up with the structure that I'm going to show you now. First and foremost, we split it, and this is a case study that I'm sharing with you. First and foremost, we split it the problem statement into 4 key towers. Okay. We created a tower A where we had a SKU performance analytics. That means this tower studies what type of, you remember I showed you a mixture of experts. So these are all individual experts. And within each expert, I have multiple agents, which I'll show you. So the SKU performance analytics measures about how my products are doing in the brand. Okay. So which ones are selling, which ones are not selling, inventory movements, and I'll share details of each one of them. The second tower looks at how my products are performing in conjunction with other products on the shelf. That means my competition. The third one consolidates the input from the shelf interplay and SKU performance and builds a strategy. That means does the scenario analysis, makes a recommendation, creates a strategy for me to reach out. And by me now, I mean the CPG organization about how should I prioritize reaching out to the stores. And then the fourth tower creates tools for the brand sales rep to have a conversation with the store manager. Okay, so that's the 4 towers that get created. So let's look at each tower and the associated agents in deep detail now. Okay, so the SKU performance analytics tower has 3 agents. There can be many, many more. I can break it down every agent into much more smaller agent as well. Okay, but this one was for the sake of simplicity for our understanding that the first one, stock tracking agent, that just monitors how many SKUs are moving at this retailers, at different retailers. Okay, and we understand if there's a pattern to it that, okay, tomato flavored chips have been increasing steadily and the sour cream and onion chips flavor has been decreasing over the last 6 months. So that's an insight. But by how much percentage? Is it significant enough, that decline? Or is it because that the stock is moving primarily because I had only these 2 flavors available? What if I added a third flavor in the mix? Will the sour cream and onion flavor continue to decrease, or will it pick up because now there are three different flavors available? So that's what stock tracking agent does, creates insight about the movement of my products along with other assortments that I have. The second agent is the inventory flow agent, where it looks at all the orders that the retail store has given me and assesses that is the retail store ordering in bulk and then selling through that inventory for 6 months, or is it ordering in 10, 10, 15 days interval and selling it every 2 weeks? Because both have pros and cons. And the objective of this inventory flow agent is to track if there is a pattern. That means if they are ordering less, but in the beginning of the year and ordering for 6 months and 8 months, and they are having stockouts, maybe that's why my sour cream and onion was reducing. Okay. It also tracks warehouse inventory. That do I have enough inventory available when the order was placed? What if the order was placed and I did not have the inventory, so I was not able to fulfill and my order got delayed by 2 weeks? Maybe the 2 week loss of sales caused the delay or caused the reduction in the sour cream and onion chips flavor sales. So that's what the inventory flow agent does. It analyzes at that level. Then the third agent analyzes the performance of my product on the shelf. That what was the pricing did I do? If I increase the price by 10 cents, did it increase or reduce my sales? Was my pricing elastic or was my pricing inelastic? Is the product price elastic or price inelastic? What promotion worked? When I gave buy one, get one free, did it increase my sales threefold or onefold? If it increased onefold, was it helpful? Is it a good margin or a bad margin? All of those decisions or all of those insights will be generated by the pricing and promotion agent. So collectively, the stock tracking agent, inventory flow agent, pricing and promotion agent will create an amazing set of insights for the sales rep with a much more in-depth understanding that he or she can share with the store manager and say that the reason you did not sell this much is because you ordered it so late. You are ordered after the minimum order quantity was given. Those are the type of insights that this store SKU performance analytics agent will give. The second agent, right, or second mixture of agent is the shelf interplay. So this one also, for ease of explanation, I'll keep it to three agents. The first one is assortment observer agent, where what all different assortment was available along with the competition. Do I have the green, the red, the purple, the yellow, all different types of chips available at the same time? In what quantity were they available? That means I sent 20% of my SKUs that were on the shelf were of green color and 80% was on red color. So that's one trend I saw in the last 3 months. But before that, I had 50 and 50. And when it was 50-50, my sales was higher. That means the assortment mix that I'm sending or the store is asking is skewing my sales. So that impact will be judged by the assortment observer agent. Then second is the competitive intelligence agent, one of the most important aspect. Getting data from Kantar, getting data from Nielsen, analyzing that competitive intelligence and saying, what was my market share of the consumer basket? And what role did it play? Did my assortment has anything to do with that play? What was the strategy applied by my competitor? How many assortments did they have? How many flavors they had? What was the pack size that they were offering? Was it 3 ounce, 5 ounce, 10 ounce? What was the ounce that they were, what was the pricing? What was the pricing? What was the promotion? All of those aspects. Now, getting that data is not always easy. However, we start working with whatever data we have. So one very important thing working on these AI initiatives is that you will never have all the data. Never. Whenever you feel you have all the data collected, suddenly we will realize that that particular type of data never came through. Therefore, we'll go back and start again. Hence, our recommendation is that draw a line in the sand, say that these are the data that we have. Let's create a model based on that much data. Let's deploy it. Let's learn from it. And once we feel that the results are not satisfactory, then we go back and say, okay, now let's augment another data. But the important part is building a platform that can scale, building a platform that can take different type of data in future, because data requirements will keep on growing. That's why don't pause your projects because you don't have enough data. Let's continue building. Then the third for shelf interplay is planogram compliance, execution excellence. How well did we execute our strategy at the store level? We decided that we will have 30% of the cereal aisle space. Did we get 30% or did we get only 25%? How do we know? Did we take enough pictures? Did we analyze those pictures? What was the outcome of those picture analysis? So those are the type of execution excellence. Did my promotion get launched on time? We were planning to run it for 3 weeks. Did I end it a little bit sooner? Did I launch it a little bit later? All of that analysis will come. Did I launch it on Sunday or did I start it on a Monday? Did that play a role? If I have 3, 4 years worth of data for all the promotions, etc., there are very high chances to find a pattern. What is the right day to launch a promotion? What is the duration for keeping a promotion? You keep a promotion for too long, customers start to take it for granted. You keep a promotion for too less, not enough word of mouth got generated. So what is the right duration? That is the type of analytics that execution and excellence agent generates that insight. So remember, all of these insights are being generated as a recommendation. Okay. And they are fed into a large language model to analyze further. Okay. And these are standalone agents. So if you just want to see execution excellence agents output, you can still interact with it. We can give you an interface to talk about execution excellence. We can give you an interface to talk about assortment. So our chatbot Pi, Polestar.ai, is a great forum for you to interact with all of these agents. If those agents are deployed, you can just ask Pi, how might my green flavored or mango flavored products did compared to the others? And it will give you an amazing summary that over the last 6 months, I'm seeing this trend, which is very different from the trend I saw last year. Okay. So I'll go to the third one, which is a strategy builder. So now that I have all the preparatory agents available, the previous two, now I'm ready to build my strategy. So the first strategy I need that should I focus on all the stores? And you will find more often than not that there are few stores or a very small set of stores that play a bigger role or where you can influence or where you can increase sales. There are quite a few stores where no matter what you do, you may not play very nicely or you may not gain very nicely. And this is what the strategy builder does. It creates a segmentation, priority 1, priority 2, priority 3, priority 4 stores where you need to go. Now you can prioritize which agent should go to which stores to get for maximum benefit or maximum impact. Once I have determined the stores, my strategy builder agent continues with a playbook builder agent, and it plays very well with that. The playbook builder agents creates a strategy for you to communicate with the store manager for that particular store, which has been targeted. That what should be my script? Do I have the right images? Do I have the right data point? Do I have the right messages that I need to give to the store manager? What is the insight? So it creates like a compendium for the sales rep to go through with amazing amount of insights that are available. That, hey, Adam, when you are going to that store manager, you can talk to him about these 5 things. We are seeing a decline here. We are seeing an increment here. The promotions have been delivered on time, but they were not executed on time. We are seeing these coupon codes never being reimbursed and so on. Never been submitted or they are being submitted late for reimbursements and etc. That is the type of insight, a compendium that a strategy builder agent will provide to the sales rep. But no matter what you create in a conference room, it will be very different from what will actually happen on the ground. So that's where the fourth agent comes into picture, which is the sales execution agent. Now, this is the agent that actually helps the sales rep on the ground. Once the sales rep walks into the store, the type of conversation they are going to have is going to be very different. Now, this visit execution agent will have a tool for real-time data capture. So taking a picture and instantly analyzing that it is in compliance or it is out of compliance. So that way, once he is in the store, he can say, see, I told you that you are not in compliance to my expectations of planogram. We have built a scenario advisory agent where if a store manager gives a new recommendation that I'm going to buy so and so assortment from you, you can feed it in real time and our scenario advisory agent can make a recommendation that no, this is not a great assortment. We should push him for 50% of mango flavor rather than 20% because of these reasons. Now this agent is actually helping sales rep to become a significantly more productive. Now they have data-based information that they can counter the store manager and get a better deal from them. And once all of this deal has been logged, now the sales rep will go into the system and we will give him a visit logging agent. Now this visit logging agent continuously learns that, okay, this was agreed. Now it will monitor the agreement with actual performance of the store for each of the brands that have been sold and monitor whether the visit and calculate a visit effectiveness. That is the visit effective or not, and then feed as a input to the playbook builder So if the sales rep, store manager agreed to something but did not comply, it will feed to the playbook builder agent so that playbook can give an updated recommendation the next time around. Okay. So if I plot all of these different agents that we spoke about into a single page, this is what the information is going to look like. On the left-hand side, I have all the proprietary agents, the stock tracking, inventory, pricing, assortment, execution, and competitive intelligence. Collective input from all of these proprietary agents goes into the store segmentation agent. Store segmentation agent has a playbook builder agent that helps the build on top of the output of store segmentation. And that playbook builder agent passes its data to the visit execution agent, and that passes information to the scenario advisory agent, where it is negotiating and generating new scenarios. And finally, all the inputs get logged into the visit logging agent that finally inputs in real time information to the playbook builder agent. So that within a month, when the sales rep is going again, or within 2 weeks, when the sales rep is going again, the playbook is updated with the feedback from the last visit. Okay, and collectively, this is the agentic AI system. Now, keep in mind, this is not the agent swarm, because agents are not creating themselves in real time. We have created and defined these agents. We have trained these agents with all the data. Therefore, this is more of like a mixture of experts, where different expert agents work with each other and they play very nice to provide the necessary business objective, that is 4% of more revenue and 5% of more market share for the brand. That is. Now, the beauty is also that any of these agents can be used independently. They work well together, but if you just want to go to the store segmentation agent, you can use the store segmentation agent and give it to all of your sales rep and not just prioritized sales stores. If you just want a competitive intelligence agent, you can use just that. Okay, and that can be used then to build better products. That can be used to build innovative products, to introduce more flavors, to introduce more pack size, to run better promotions, to price better. So independently also each of these agents would work, and we will have interfaces that can help you interact with them. So I'll pause here. Okay. We are 40 minutes into the conversation. Maybe I'll leave the rest 15, 20 minutes for question and answer. And then in the next session, part two, that is happening on Thursday, we will show you the actual platform where all of these agents work, as well as a quick demo of the thing. Okay. So I'll pause here, see if there's any questions or comments.
Thank you, Sid, for the incredibly deep and insightful presentation. We do have a couple of questions from the
Mhm.
audience. Piyush is asking, what metrics should be used to evaluate an agent's effectiveness?
Awesome. Very, very good question, Piyush. So there is no one size fits all. So there are few. Okay. For example, drift is a very important aspect for any agent to evaluate a metric, to evaluate any agent. That how is the agent consistently giving the right answer? For example, store segmentation agent, because training is something that you are not going to do every day. Training is something that you would do every 3 months or every 6 months, depending on volatility of the data. And over a period of time, the agent starts to drift. That means they start to give incorrect answers because the data that you trained them on and the data that has been generated in the last 3 months could have skewed the results. So I told you that store number 5678 is the most priority store, but after 3 months or 6 months of data, store 5678 may not be the most priority store. Therefore, model drift is an important aspect. Model performance is an important aspect. Time that it takes for these agents to run and give a recommendation, cost that they incur to give you a recommendation, because you don't want to spend $37,000 to build a store segmentation agent, right? Every time the store segmentation agent runs, you would expect a few $100s cost, because that is what you would want to pay. Okay. If the visit execution or scenario agent, all of these agents collectively, if they are not able to justify the ROI, because these are all generative AI and data science models may incur significant cost or GPU time. Therefore, costing, performance, drift, these are some of the metrics that you would use to evaluate. But at the end, no matter what agent you use, the ultimate ROI comes from business value. If I'm able to increase my revenue by 4%, my market share by 5%, it will subsequently start reflecting in my margins. And then I will calculate the investment or the ROI that I invested $100,000 in these agents. If they helped me deliver $20 million extra in the 1 year, that is a phenomenal ROI. Okay. I hope that answered your question.
Thank you for taking that up, Sid. Can we take one more before we pause? So,
Absolutely. Please.
Bhavya is asking, what role can AI agents play in identifying emerging consumer trends before their competitors?
Awesome. Awesome. No, Bhavya, right? No, amazing question. So that's a very, very useful point, right? Because all the things that we have spoken about right now is from an existing customer behavior. Okay. But looking at the assortment observer agent, looking at the stock tracking agent, okay, these are looking at the pricing and promotion agent. These are the some of the agent, the proprietary agent that will actually tell me about how the consumer preferences are changing. Based on those consumer preferences, consumer are buying smaller products, consumer are buying more cheaper products, customers have less affinity to brands. These are the type of thoughts you can get or insights you can get from these agents and use for your product development, use for your R&D. That would help you become a better company, better responsive to the customer requirements. Like there are so many cases in which brands became very unaware of customer preferences and eventually died. The one of the most sought after examples that people say, okay, I will not take the brand name, but smartphones, right? Smartphone emergence, the feature phone companies did not see that trend coming. If they had this type of analytics and intelligence available, what is the share of phones that they are getting? Okay, probably they would have reacted much more faster. They did not have real time intelligence, probably. They did not have week by week or month by month. They had potentially annual information available, but within 2 years, the whole landscape changed. And by the time they came with their smart products, it was too late. The business moved on. So finding the cycle of your business is a very important aspect, and catering or understanding that yes, I need real-time data or I need near real-time information to be able to respond. Actually, all businesses are getting more requirement for near real-time. Like one tweet from a celebrity can increase the shoe sale of a Steve Madden shoe significantly. So they need a real-time information to be able to react and respond. Okay. I hope that answered your question, Bhavya.
Thank you, Sid. Looks like we are done with all the questions, and it's time to wrap up. So, thank you again for the incredibly detailed journey into how what your outlook is on AI accelerating business processes, and also it was great to see the culmination of various agents and how they come together to build the entire execution machinery. So
Correct,
thank you
correct.
for that. And for our audience, we are doing the live platform demo of Agentic AI on Thursday, that is the 24th of April. We'll send you the invites and joining links across. So please feel free to join in and look at how clients are using the Agenthood AI in their daily businesses. So we'll wrap up here. Thank you, Sid. Thank you to our audience, wh- wherever you have joined in from. And we'll see you again on Thursday.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. See you on Thursday. Bye bye.